Oh,
Hey
hey,
there.
Hey,
how's it going?
Awesome. It's great. You look a little different than you did on the show.
I thought about coming on as Lance Armlong, but I realized if I was in character the whole time, I wouldn't have a lot to talk about. So,
so I'm Mixlom, and he is the Miles Revolution, and we are two freaks doing a show. And we do this show. We love to talk to AGT people. We talk to quite a few people who have been on the show. We're both big fans of the show, and we just think, what's cooler than this? Just sitting around and talking to people who have been on America's Got Talent and talking about the acts.
it's very cool. It seems like a fun show. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you. My first question is so I saw the Lance Armlong and then I saw Jack off Broadway and I couldn't really find that, or else I wasn't searching right. What is Jack off Broadway?
Yeah, so that's my stage name. I'm a performer, off-Broadway performer, and I play a different character every time I'm on stage. So Lance Armlong is one of my characters, but my overarching stage name, if you will, is Jack off Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very good name. I'm not going to make too many jokes since we're a family show.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean?
Great. but I do like the name.
It's funny you mentioned that because on AGT, my name was Off Broadway Jack because my producer had called and said they might not make it past the censors, and I didn't understand what they meant, so I asked him to explain, and then I figured out, I realized what the problem could be.
Oh, so that wasn't intentional?
It was just
No, I found out on the phone with them.
Wow.
I was like, oh my gosh, I have a website and everything.
But you're sticking with it.
Yeah, I do like it. It's a good name, and I also perform with the burlesque troupe, so it actually fits really well there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That sounds like a real Vegas kind of name.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Vegas show you'd see.
That's really nice. Yeah, and if anyone's ever concerned, I can always just swap the position of the words and have off Broadway Jack. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So tell us about your AGT journey, because we're always interested in how you got on the show. Did they call you up, or did you stand in line for 10 hours to try out? And how did this come about?
Yeah, so I actually sent I made a video of my Lance Armlong act and a few of my other acts, and I think I sent them the Lance Armlong one, but I sent in a digital audition first. I didn't hear anything back, and then I saw got an alert that they were doing Zoom auditions as kind of like an open casting call thing. Sorry, can you hear me okay? My microphone.
Yeah, I hear.
But anyway, I went on a Zoom audition. So you wait for 2 hours in a Zoom room, and then they bring 10 of you in, and you perform your act for them. And I performed actually a different act when I auditioned because I found out while I was waiting that it needed to be 90 seconds, and Lance Armlong is originally about 4 minutes long. So I quickly changed acts into a different one that I do. And ended up auditioning with that. And then they asked to see if I had any more acts. And I kind of showed them a few different characters and sent in more videos. And they had their heart set on Lance Armlong. So.
Okay.
How many acts do you do?
Oh gosh, I'm up to probably regularly. I have maybe 7 to 10 different acts that I feel are polished right now. I do a few different things. I do mime boxing, which is where I'm a mime in a boxing ring, and I'm essentially getting beat up by nothing. And I've got a whole variety. I have one where I'm a moth that's in love with a lamp. Lots of different sort of theatrical, almost short little off-Broadway shows, if you would.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of places do you end up doing those? Just on the street? Do you actually go to a club? I don't know what kind of venue you would use that in.
Yeah. It's I started actually with my sister's dance circus. I have some older sisters, and they started a Nevaeh dance circus up in Maine, and we've been performing at different camps and different, sometimes larger events or bigger venues recently. And they would often need acts for that, where they need a lot of the circus performers have to change large costumes or get into different things, and my acts would sort of come in there as a sideshow, where for big costume changes I might come out and perform Lance Armlong or something like that.
No. Well, actually, that's a pretty unique idea. And a pretty good idea, actually.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's yeah, I really like it. There's a lot of freedom in being a character actor because you can, be someone different every time.
So
Yeah,
is that what you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself a character actor, or do you consider yourself a comedian? Or like, what would you, if somebody asked, how would you describe yourself in just a couple words? Like, what would you say?
Yeah, honestly, that was my biggest struggle in applying for the show because while I have each of these acts that are kind of self-contained, I didn't know if what I am would fit into the format of a show where you come back week after week, because each of my acts are so, different. They don't really have a through line. But yeah, I would say that I'm a character actor. I guess a performer. I know that's a pretty vague overview, but I'd like to say I'm an entertainer. Yeah.
So would you classify yourself as an actor?
Ooh. Yeah, I guess I would. I guess that's kind of encompassed in it. I do sometimes play characters that are not an original creation, but that I put a twist on. I have one act called Who's Waldo, about Waldo trying to find himself.
I mean, you almost seem more like a comedian who interjects some acting into his show or something.
Yeah, I can see that, like a one-man show sort of comedian. Yeah. Yeah, I got to get a branding team on it, but yeah.
Have you ever teamed up with anybody else or done shows with other people? Or is it always you?
Let me think. Well, I do my partner Maka Motion. She's also a performer in the circus. She does poi and which is like swinging sort of juggling stuff. She also dances, and she's joined me in a few acts as like another character occasionally. And yeah, I guess I perform in the circus with I guess a lot of my acts are one-man sort of acts. Although at AGT, I met another long arm performer, and we got a lot of behind the scenes footage with them.
Is that on your on Instagram or Facebook or someplace?
I wish I had gotten photos with them on my own phone. No, it was just the B-roll team. There was another performer called Sweaty Eddie, who I think they're out of New York. They're a drag king, I think, and their act was having very long arms and playing music on some glasses and making a sandwich. And we were both shocked to see each other. I think the producers were hoping for some drama because they had specifically requested we do our long arm acts, like out of all our different acts. So it was kind of it was a wild coincidence.
So is that the long arm? Is that something you created then, or what's the history behind the long arm thing?
Yeah, well, that Lance Armlong is a character I came up with and kind of built out the costume for, and the identity of a golfer. If you want to see the full thing, actually, I just posted on my Instagram a link to the actual performance itself. So there's a video link in my bio where you can see the full act of Lance Armlong. But yeah, that's an original character I came up with.
So you don't use Jack off Broadway on Instagram, you just use Lance Armlong?
Yeah, right now I really need to do, that's one area I'm lacking, like social media management. I need to sort of collect everything into one space so it's easily accessible.
So your brand everybody knows what your brand is, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it'd be nice to kind of streamline like that. I hope to bring up maybe just a Jack off Broadway account that sort of encompasses all of it. But right now I just have bits and pieces all spread across the internet.
So when you got on AGT and you got up there in front of the judges, number one, what's that like? And number two, did it go the way you imagined it going?
Yeah. So as for what it's like, I was really nervous, but I thought that was good because that's how I usually feel when I perform. They do let you, or at least they let me do a dry run ahead of time, which was good because we had the wrong audio track set up. But they let you go out on the stage with nobody in the audience, no judges, and you can just do a test run.
Right.
And so that kind of helped me a lot. That made me feel like, now I'm ready. I'm excited to perform when people are here. And then, but yeah, it's still really nervous. And as for it going the way I thought it would, it kind of did. When I got booked, they set you up with like a producer who's supposed to kind of manage you and bring you into the show in a certain way. But anyway, I was talking to them, and they were insisting that I stay in character as Lance Armlong the entire show. And I realized that would probably indicate that I wouldn't be moving on because Lance Armlong is just one act. So I kind of said that to them. I was like, does that mean I basically probably won't move on this year? And they never really tell you outright, but you can kind of tell at least which direction it's leaning.
Right.
And of course, anything could happen. I'm sure the judges have some creative control if they want to, do whatever they're feeling. But yeah, I kind of had a feeling. I was like, I'm guessing this will be a joke act, but I'm still excited to go out there and get on that stage.
I mean, that's kind of the way that I think. If they would ever let me on there, I mean, I'd be glad to just be on the show. So
yeah, and I think that's kind of a good way to look at, like, don't take it personally. The judges are doing a role themselves, and a lot of the banter back and forth that aired wasn't actually banter that happened when I was on stage.
Oh, really?
Well,
yeah, a lot of like they never asked me, like, do you think you could win $1 million? Like, and some of their responses after the fact were alternate takes or stuff they didn't actually say to me. But that's kind of like, I went in with it knowing it's a show about a talent competition that kind of becomes its own thing. So I think as long as you go into it with that sort of expectation, it helps prepare you for however it might go.
Well, we've been to the auditions, the live auditions before.
Oh, really?
I've taken my family to Pasadena and done that. So
oh, it's so cool.
That's in the audience and sat right behind Howie. So
oh my gosh, did you see yourself on camera?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Back of our heads, but
hey, that's something.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
So Jack, where are you at now?
I'm in Maine now. That's where I reside most of the time. I perform with the circus up here, Nevaeh Dance Circus. I also perform with a burlesque troupe called Cold Cold Night Burlesque, which is funny because a lot of my acts are just circus acts put into a burlesque show, which I think is kind of a nice feature. Like, something I think people forget is not everything in a burlesque show is explicit. Like, some of it is just something that's funny or something kind of vaudeville-esque.
Sure.
So it's kind of a nice touch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So so just kind of plug yourself. Do you have anywhere that you're coming up, if anybody's watching, where they can either find you on social media or where they can find you performing live or any of that stuff?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm on social media as Lance Armlong official. Somehow Lance Armlong was taken. I don't know how I missed out on that.
Yeah, I saw that. And I thought that was kind of curious. I thought, really? There's someone else like that? So, is there a space in there?
Oh yeah, it's Lance _ Armlong _ official is my Instagram account for this act.
Well,
and that's great if you want to see the full act, because I just put a link to the video in my bio. And then I perform with Nevaeh Dance Circus. That's another troupe you can catch me performing with. I believe they're also on Instagram at Nevaeh Dance Circus. It's Heaven Backwards, Nevaeh Dance Circus.
So is that correct?
Oh, really close. There's just another underscore between Armlong and official.
All right. I just want to make sure that we get it out there.
Yeah, no, thanks so much. I appreciate the publicity. That's helpful.
There you go.
So with that, and then I perform with the Nevaeh Dance Circus, Cold Night Burlesque, both troupes that are centered in Maine but perform all over. And maybe you'll catch me. Oh, the troupes I mentioned?
Yeah.
Let me pull up that name for you. I have it right here. I just want to make sure I give you the right one. Okay, so Nevaeh, that's just Heaven Backwards and
Heaven Backwards. So that you're gonna make me think.
I know.
Aven Nevaeh.
Yeah, you got it. Nevaeh Dance Circus, all one word. And that's an Instagram account.
Circus. That's Instagram. Let's see if I get this right here. Show. Like that?
Nevea Dance Circus. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right,
Thanks so much.
sure. We'll put that on the on YouTube and every place else that we put this. We'll put those links in there. So.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really helpful. Yeah.
Okay, one thing we always like to throw out, Jack. Once you're on our show, then you're a friend of our show. And so if you ever want to come back, or if you ever want to have us on something, we're always willing. If you ever want to come on and comment on acts with us, because one of the things we do, like after we're done with you, we go through and we talk about the different acts and what we think. You're always more than welcome to come on. Once you're on the show, you then become a friend of the show and you become part of our online AGT family.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a very nice invitation. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. I checked out some of your show to see some of the reviews of acts. I was like, this is awesome that somebody kind of almost like a watch party or something. But
yeah.
Well, I know it's in its infancy, but you got to start somewhere. So,
heck yeah.
And I was just commenting to Mixlom before we went on the show that even Tape Face is acknowledging that we have a show on. So
oh my gosh,
I know that some of the acts are at least aware of us. I don't know if they're watching it or not, but
that's so cool. How'd you find out about Tape Face being aware?
He liked some of our stuff on Twitter, and then on Facebook he actually commented to us.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Well, great job.
If you're watching, Tape Face, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Heck, hey, you're a big inspiration, Tape Face. I love your acts.
Well, I've actually written
help Jack out too while he's performing.
Well, I don't mean to name drop, but I'm still a nobody. But I've actually written a song for Simon Cowell, and I wrote one for Howie, and both of them put at least a like on them. So,
oh my gosh,
that was
heck
what
yeah.
else I expect? I mean, I'm a nobody, so.
I mean, that's don't sell yourself short. You're doing something. That's very cool. Yeah, great. That's awesome. It's cool to know that like the people you are big fans of like saw your work,
Right.
I did get a chance to I don't know if you know the comedian Ron Lynch. He's a really funny comedian. He does sort of alternative funny comedy, but he hosts a weekly open mic in LA, and I reached out to him after this whole event, and he offered that I might be able to be on that. So that was
awesome.
Very cool.
But now, are you in LA then?
No. I would have to, if I were to join that, it would be also through video.
Okay. All right.
Unless I happen to be in LA for some reason, that would work out well. But
so what do you call home then?
Oh, I call Maine home. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, Jack. Well, we're going to let you go so we can get to the second part of our show here. But it was awesome having you on. And again, you're part of our online family here. So if you ever have anything you'd like us to be involved in, we'd be more than happy to come on with you to do something. Or if you ever want to come back with us and review some acts, just let us know.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks for having me on.
All right. We got Jack off Broadway, or also Lance Armlong, as we know him on AGT. Thanks a lot, Jack, and we will see you later, hopefully.
See you later. Yeah, have a great one. Bye-bye.